Hello guys, welcome back on my channel. So this session is specifically for you guys who ask me so many times about what to do with my career. What do I mean by that? So some of you guys already got the job in IT as a QA engineers, automation engineer mostly. Some of you guys finished the second course for the backend development like me, work as a back developer, and you're thinking, okay, what is next? I got my first job. I'm working there. I'm kind of tired of like hitting elements and hitting API points. I'm tired of doing manual testing. I'm tired of to do backend development, and you're looking for the next step. Some of you found the really interesting aspect is to getting two, sometimes three jobs and making as much money you can. Really good approach though. Good job. But some of you guys are looking for something new and you want to develop your career. You're looking for different spots in IT, but you don't know where to go. So for you guys, I'm kind of at the same plate. I'm here not to teach you or find way for you because I'm also in search mode. I'm trying different things. I did manual testing, automation testing. I did backend development. I did project management work. So already four. And the fifth one I'm going to try data analytics, and I already kind of work in this field. So you guys, instead of spending money on the course, doing some stuff, and then realize you don't want it, for example, what I advise to you to try it with me, make your hands dirty, and by the end of this video and maybe a couple more videos, you will understand do you want it or not. So let's dive into this.
Tools to start to learn data analytics. But before we go into this fancy tool, describing what they're doing, how to use them, and so on and so on, a long story short, we can divide it into like three pieces. So first of all, you need one of the computer programming language to know, to use it. Um, and it's a fact, and the most popular, I would say the leader in this field is a Python. So if you decided to be data analytics or you want to try this field, you won't start with Python. Good thing about it, you don't need to know Python, all the libraries around Python. No, as soon as you learn basics in Python, like data structures, you learn some algorithms, and you learn like operational statements and a couple more topics, you're good with the language. The next step, you need to learn NumPy library. It's a additional library which written in Python as well. Actually, it's written in C++, but Python uses this library actively to manipulate with data, right? So you need to store data. You work with data. You store data, you divide the data, and you store data in the different form. The next step, you need to learn the Pandas libraries. It's additional library which help you to organize your data in the certain view, right? You want to store it as a graphs, diagrams, you want to store it in certain database, you want to store it and divide it by name, by value, by column, headers, etc. Different types of manipulations with data you want to do. The third thing you need to know is, a fourth thing you need to know is SQL, to know the relational databases. As soon as you know relational databases, like whatever Postgres, like any database from Oracle, whatever it is, you know the queries, unions, joins, you can work with the databases. From the non-relational databases, you need to know MongoDB, but it's later. To start start with simple SQL. And of course, you need to visualize it. There are different tools, different platforms which can help you with the visualization. But in this short video, I will show you how to use Folium. It's the easiest way to start with, and you will understand you enjoy it or not. So my point is not to teach you the full course, give you everything. My point is to show you some cool, interesting tools, like to grab from each of this topic piece by piece and build something cool and small, So within 20-30 minutes with me, you guys understand, do you like it or you don't like it? If you don't like it, it's totally fine. We will continue to dig. We will find something for us. But at least we will start with something. So let's go. Let's make our hands dirty. Okay. So very first thing where we start, we will create our new project, right? So to start with, we need to create our folder, and let's open our Finder. In our Finder, we can go to your folder wherever you would prefer to create your project. In my case, I will store it under my name. As soon as we created the folder, we go our VS Code, or if you want, you can use PyCharm if you are IntelliJ IDE environment guys. So you can use any. If you actually, you can use Atom or Jupyter. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So data analytics. We open this folder. We have our empty folder. So for those who didn't install the Python, very first thing you do, you go to your extensions and type Python here. You got your Python, you click, you install it. So for you, you have the install button. As soon as you install it, your Python is there. If you don't know how to use Python, but you have a knowledge in the different languages, you're okay to continue with Python, but because you will be surprised how simple Python syntax is. If you don't have any development experience in any programming language, here below I will keep the links for you guys with amazing tutorials for the Python for the beginner level. I promise you, for the beginning level, you will be able to learn it less than a month from the basics perspective. You will make it. So I will leave all the links below. Okay, as soon as we install everything we need for our Python, right? You install it. The next thing I want you install, guys, it's install Pandas libraries, right? Pandas. So how you can install it? So you can search it in your browser, Pandas libraries, and you will see the very first link here. You click here and you will see the good documentation here, how to install it. Also, they offer you free book. I will post it in my Telegram channel because I have this book for data analytics. I will post it. You can download it and read it. I didn't finish. I'm in the middle of the book, but it's really useful and they give really good hints. So you just click the install Panda now and you will see the instruction for the installation for the Windows users, for the Mac users, and also the cheat sheet they provide. So yeah, that's a moment we can install Pandas libraries. Another option, you can install it through the terminal. So basically we have opened our project, right? And we can open and click new terminal. If you decided to use install your Pandas through the terminal, you need to check your Python version, right? Python 3 version. I'm on the 3rd version. So for you, if Python not installed, you need to install Python but using the extensions, or you can go to the Python, and there on the Python org, I will leave the link below, you can install your Python. So you click downloads and you can install the version you would prefer, right? 3.13, 3.12, just choose the version. I will leave the link below as well. So for me, it's already installed. As soon as I have my version and I have my updates, I need to install Pandas libraries, right? So since it's the 3rd version, I use the command pip3, then install, and then pandas. It will install all libraries regarding the pandas to my local. Why actually? I misspelled it. Yeah. So why actually it doesn't go? Oh my god. Pip install pandas. Now it will install pandas on my local. Why actually it doesn't go from scratch with the pandas? I mean with the Python. Why it doesn't go together as a bundle? The reason for that, the pandas libraries is pretty heavy. So how the way the Python is built, it goes with libraries which go from the scratch, and there are many libraries which come in from different sources, and then depending on your task, your goal, you can pull those libraries and use them, so avoid the creation from the scratch. So some devs already created those methods, functions to work with the data, but to avoid your Python heaviness, to avoid this heavy installation process which will be heavy and slow, they decided to keep it as the separate libraries, and whatever you need, we can import them. So now pandas library is here, right? And we can create, and how we can check that, right? We can create any file, let's call it test.py, and we have our test file, and we can type import. This basically show you, hey, go to the specific libraries, import and check pandas. As you can see, it's already here, so basically I can import it. So panda libraries is here. Is not accessed. Import pandas couldn't be resolved from the source. View problem, quick fix. Okay, clear. Common S. Now we can refresh it, right? We can refresh all the libraries. And now we want to make sure that we actually install it. So for that, open the new terminal and do pip show pip3 show pandas. What it will do, it would actually show you if your tool is there. It will give you all the description of your library you have installed. Now we have pandas version 2.2, where it's coming from, who is an author, all these kind of libraries, right? As we can see, we successfully installed. The next library, what we need probably when we start working with our data, it's actually NumPy for the managing data, right? So install NumPy in VS Code. How to install NumPy? Let's see. Blah blah blah, Windows, blah blah blah, install Python, terminal, new terminal, pip install NumPy. In our case, we need to type pip3 install because we're using Python 3rd version, right? So basically the same thing. We open new terminal, we type pip3, install NumPy. It should work. It wants me to update my pip. It's okay, we can update it. Okay, Python successfully updated. Now I can install my pip NumPy library. Okay, now I see that my NumPy has been installed, so I have it in my library, which is good. I can clear the terminal. We have everything to start work, right? Only one thing is left. As soon as we have our data, right, and we kind of work with this data, we need to visualize it. We need to have pictures with these diagrams or map or whatever data representation you can come up with. And there are so many tools which can help you with visualization. And good thing we don't need to build it from the scratch. And another amazing thing which we can do, we don't need to know JavaScript, we don't need to know HTML code to bring this data. Python actually can pull those Node.js libraries and transform them and visualize the way we need. And one of the libraries for that, which we have, it's called Folium. So Folium Python. Okay, now in documentation, Folium. This is specifically created for Python, and it's actually help you to visualize the data. It's bringing the already existing libraries from different sources and visualize it for you whatever you want. So we will come to this. Let's just install everything. Pip install Folium. Okay, same kind of the same command. Pip 3 install Folium. Now we can see that we pull in from the libraries and Folium already installed. As soon as we have installed the Folium, right, through the pip3 install, we want to see what kind of methods this Folium or this NumPy or Panda have, because we don't know. Even me, I don't know everything. I cannot memorize everything. One of the options, you can search in the documentation, right here in the documentation you can search about the Pandas, NumPy we have installed. Oh, I switched to the wrong language. NumPy. You can read documentation, right? You can read it. But if you in the process in the building something, you don't want going back and forth all the time. So for this perspective, Python provides us with a powerful thing as an interpreter. Interpreter, it's a certain console, let's say, which helps you to run any Python code handy. Also, it helps you, this interpreter helps you to know what our libraries can provide us, what kind of method, what kind of functionality we have behind the scene. So you just type Python 3. Now you see your interpreter has been opened. You see those three arrows. Now it's actually a really powerful thing. For example, you can do this: print 3 plus 3, and it actually compiles everything. It's really powerful interpreter. But now what I want to do, I want to import Folium. Now it's successfully imported, and I want to see what kind of methods it has. And I can see what kind of method I can use, and it has. The same thing I can do with Pandas. And now I can see what kind of methods, functionalities this library hides from us. So we can see that. A lot of methods. Same for the NumPy and so on. But if I want, for example, to know what exactly this method does, right? Or this method, I want to know it. I also can do help. In the brackets, I will type Folium and dot. And then I want to call the name of the method to see what is given to us. Let's say the method marker. I copy that, paste in here, close my brackets, enter. Now I can see the full description what this method is given to us. First of all, it's as the parameters in this method, it should be tuple or list, right? Then what is actually doing? I need to provide latitude or longitude to see something, right? To put a dot. So all these methods are provided by that library, and an interpreter helps us to run our code or to read about the methods in this code. Okay, now it took us around 10-15 minutes to install everything we need, right? We installed all libraries which we are going to use. So now let's make our hands dirty. Okay, let's create our first project, right? And what we are going to build? We are going to build our map, a real map like a Google Maps. We will build our map, and at this map, we want to see all the volcanoes or waterfalls, whatever you desire to show. And how to do that without knowledge of JavaScript, HTML, and so on and so on. Only those libraries which we have, and how to actually to manage this huge amount of data. Let's begin. Okay, guys, we have successfully installed libraries. We install everything. Now we should start to work with our data, right? So first of all, to create our map, we need to pull some libraries to our IDE. So in this case, in our VS Code, we type this import Folium, and it's actually bring all the libraries, all the capabilities to our class. So everything is here now. Now, the way it works, we need to create our object. And in this object, we will populate with the different data. And then, with the help of this Pandas and Folium, this data will be represented as the visual HTML page. How to do that? Let's start with something basic. Let's assume we want to create a map. This is simply a variable we have created. Now, what can help us to create the map? Let's assume I don't know what kind of method should I use. For that, in our terminal, which is open now, we type Python 3. And now we see that our interpreter has been successfully launched. Now, let's import Folium here in this interpreter. Now it has been pulled in our interpreter console, and now I want to see what kind of method it has, right? And one of them which we are looking for, it's a map. It's preset library which is written in JavaScript and HTML, right? Okay, but what exactly under the map? I'm typing help Folium.map and close the brackets, enter. Now I can see that this class map, it's actually consists of the certain parameters as a position. So I can locate something. Latitude, longitude, which is good. I see that it's also help us with the points, where to start. We can open the map, we can zoom it. We can create the map box. And basically we have our own Google Maps here. Okay, and we see description of each parameter here. Nice, it's comfortable, right? Location, width, titles, height, zoom, nice. Let's try to build it based on what we have. So Folium.map, and actually you see it helping us. And it's showing what we can use. We use location, where exactly our map will be, and parameters will be stored as a list. In this list we need to pass our longitude and altitude. How to find it? Oh, easily. Open Google Maps. Yeah, and let's find something. And how find I can okay. We open Google Maps, right? We just need to open our Google Maps. And let's find something. Okay. Right click. And we see our coordinates here. We can copy them. Okay. So let it be 38. I'm just copy and pasting it from Google Maps. 58, well, longitude, and altitude will be, longitude will be minus 99 dot 09. This will be our longitude. And let's say the zoom of this map, zoom start actually, zoom start, yeah, and zoom start, let's say 6. It's like how big will be here. You can make it smaller if you want. So yeah, we have created our map now. Now we need to save this data to the object, right? So we type map.save, and now we need to provide as a parameter as a name of this HTML file which we will create. And parameter will be as a string, and let's get my first map. Okay. And as you can see, we have created it, right? We have created it. And now we can run it and check, will it work or not? For now, we are not using Pandas. As you see, it's not marked as a green. We're not using Pandas. We just want to create general library here. So we can remove it for now. We will bring it later. Okay, my first map, just extension into it. So it's HTML. Let me run it and see. Okay, and as we can see, the map is created. So let me try to own it. And as you can see, the HTML code is generated so fast. Our map is here. Let me open it with, okay, let me go to the folder. Okay, and let me open that. Here we go. We have created our first map. And as you can see, we pull it from OneStreetMap, which is free resource. And you can modify the resource where from you want to pull your map. So yeah, my congratulations. You successfully have imported all data from the resources. But now let's make it more interesting and more difficult. Let's assume you want to point all the volcanoes in the United States, right? You want to put dots. How to do that? Okay, let's eat our elephant piece by piece. Let's start with the first thing. We need to know how to create this pointer, this marker. We don't want to learn JavaScript, learn them from scratch and create those. It's also exists in our library. What can help us? Okay, let's see. Let's open the terminal. Let's create new terminal. Again, let's open our interpreter. And let's see what kind of methods we have. So again, dir Folium. I need to import it first. That's a mistake I make. Because each time you open the new interpreter, you need to do import. Because this library doesn't come from the hood, under the hood. So you need to pull this additional twin turbo engine. Import Folium. Now it will work. Now we have all the methods. Okay, marker. Let me find this marker. Here we go. That's the pointer we need. Okay, what kind of parameters we need to use this marker? Okay, let's see. I wanted help Folium dot marker. Okay, what kind of methods we have here? Okay, as a parameter it accepts tuple or list. We can use icon. Okay, we can render it. Okay, good. So we can change the icon, and we need to specify where this marker is. Again, we need to specify the altitude, longitude, where this marker to put, and what kind of icon we need. Okay, and here we have an example how to use it. Markers, location, altitude, longitude, pop-up, Portland, Oregon. Pop-up, Portland, Oregon. if the pop-up label is characters, that needs to be escaped in HTML. Okay, I don't need to build everything. I can just copy paste everything. So okay, let's start work on that. So we have our map, but let's assume we have like let's create a different argument here, right? We have our longitude, latitude. I put comma as a parameter. I put pop. How do I spell it? Pop, right? That's the way it should be. I put equals and the name my marker randomly. Okay, we have our pop-up. Now we need to put the icon, right? We have a location, we have our zoom, we created our marker. Now I want to put the icon. How I can do that? Icon, because we see here that we can use icon, right? So I can use it here, icon. Okay, I have my icon as a variable. Inside I want to store it. So again, I call Folium, right? Folium library I called, enter. And now I need my icon. After I created the variable, icon. Here we go. And now I want to specify which color of this icon will be. Let's assume I want green. There are more parameters, but let's start with something simple. That's what I make a mistake. Since we are using the library marker, why I'm using the library map. So now I change the map to the marker because we are going to create this marker. That's a mistake I make. Let's try it run now. Okay, now we see a different error. You cannot render this element if it's not figure. Okay, let's create this figure. What actually figure is? Figure is actually help us to store all these different markers as a different child. And now as soon as we have those childs, we can store in them the map. Okay, let's create one of them. It's asking me to create figure. Let's name it figure. Let's name it figure. And as soon as I have my figure, okay, I can create the figure group, right? Folium figure group, feature group. Okay, let me name it. Name my map. Okay. Oh, as a string parameter, of course. Okay, now then I have my feature as a group. So let me, for example, go back here and not using it here. We keep map as a Folium map here. We don't want to keep it as a marker. Let's move it back as a map, right? So we go back to the previous step. Now, since we cannot store everything under one variable, we have our object and we need to populate this object with figures. Okay, and we create this figure as a feature group. We name it my map. And now we can create those figures, right? We can do that. So for that, let me create figure. Okay, equals. And now I can add the child actually, right? It should work now. Figure, add child. Yeah, it works. So now I will store all the markers under this variable and add it to the map. So Folium marker. Okay, and then this marker we will pass parameter as a location, same thing which we did before. Okay, let me copy it from here and I will randomly update it. I copy it from a tab. Okay, and let me randomly update it. Let's see, 35. Here will be 95. Okay, and then I have my parameters here. I can actually add my markers with the same thing I did, right? So pop up will be equal my location, my house, let it be. And second parameter we want to create, it's icon, right? Icon equals same Folium, same Folium. I don't need this bracket here because it's one constructor, one method under which we are passing all the parameters. That icon. Oh, wait a second. Pop up. Oh, I missed that. Missed comma. You see, it's first parameter, comma, second parameter, and now I need third parameter. Folium dot icon, and now I can specify color of my icon. Color same green. Okay, now it looks legit to me. Let me close the brackets. 3 of them we stored as a child, and now since it's a child we need to add it to the parent map. So before saving the object I need to click map dot add child, and as a parameter it will be figure. Okay, now looks good to me. Let me clear that here in the terminal and let me run it again. No errors. Let me open in the file. Okay, let me run it. Here we go. My map has been created with a green dot here, and as you can see my location, my house in the pop-up, it's appeared here, which is good, right? Everything works fine. Okay, now you have created your first map with a marker, and now let's say we will make it even more difficult. Let's see all our volcanoes, right? Volcanoes location CSV. Okay, volcanoes CSV. Okay, sounds good to me. I see the region, I see latitude, longitude, and hazard level. I see the data here. Okay, now I want to see, can I download it? Okay, I can. This is URL to download your volcanoes. I will leave the link below. Let's open that. Open. And as we can see, we have our volcanoes ID, name, country, is it active or not, longitude, altitude. And as we can see, it's a lot of data. It's like 1,000 lines of the data. Okay, and imagine you need to actually locate all of them at your map. Imagine how maybe these figures, lines you need to have. Yes, one of the options you can copy and paste it here, one by one, thousands of them. But imagine how much effort will it take to copy and paste each line, right? To create the new object and store it. It's like thousands of the code. We don't want to use this manual work. We don't want it. And for that now, for that specifically reason, we need our NumPy libraries, we need our Pandas libraries. That's the moment we're gonna to use it. Okay, let's go. So let's start with Pandas. Import Pandas. Okay, now your Pandas library is here. And now we can work with the data. So for that, what we can use, since it's Pandas library, we can read our data and we can modify it, right? Our Pandas library, we have it here. Since we have our Pandas library here, and we don't want to create one by one this line again and again, and we have thousands of records as we see it here, right? We have a lot of volcanoes, like thousands of the lines, 1,000 volcanoes here, some of them active, some of them not. And we don't want actually copy paste one line by line. One of the options we can do, we can use the for loop to iterate through each longitude and altitude in our Excel sheet, right? We can see here we will map this longitude with this latitude, this latitude with this longitude one by one, and pass it as a parameters for our method, right? How to do that? So for that we have our library, we have our for loop, which is coming in any language to iterate, but iterate is not enough because we can iterate either in latitude, either is longitude, but we need iterate in 2 columns and read each of them. For these cases we need several things, right? We need actually use a for loop, use the zip function. Zip function is Python is actually helps you to iterate from the both ends. Zip function in Python. I want to show you that. So zip function is actually take first item from the list and go into the second list, taking the first item and match it. John with Jenny, Charles with Christy, Mike with Monica. So it will go one by one. So let me run it here to show you. You see? It divides, but in this case it's not list, it's a tuple, but point is it divided one by one from each list, from each tuple in this case. But for us, what we want to do, we want to go and take latitude and longitude. So first of all, before going to the for loop, we need to read latitude and longitude from those 2 columns. How to divide it into list, right? Let's go and open new terminal. Before we even write the code, I want to show you something and to see now how Pandas can help us. So let me open that, Python 3. Now I have my terminal here, and I want to read from this file. So first of all, I need to store this file in the root folder to avoid the copy and paste the path. So let me move it here. Now I have all my volcanoes in one folder here, volcanoes. Now the next thing I want to do, I want to read it, right? I want to read all the volcanoes here. How I can do so, right? Okay, let me import Pandas. Okay, and now let me see what do we have here, how the Pandas can help us. Okay, this is all the method I have. Okay, we can read something. As we can see here, we can read. But what do I need to read? What kind of file? I need to read volcanoes. Okay, and this is CSV. Do we have method like that? Read SQL here. Read CSV. Pandas dot read CSV. In the brackets we need to specify the path, but since we store our file on the root folder, we do need to pass the path. We can just give a name, right? Let me close the brackets and read it. Okay, we successfully read it. Now let me print it. I have it. So this is volcano, name, country, hazard, and so on. And we have 1,546 rows and 13 columns. As you can see, manually copy pasting here is not a solution. That's why we need our data analytics. Okay, what we can do, with the help of the Pandas library in NumPy, I can store as a list. Whatever data I need in the separate list. What do I mean by that? So we have our volcano, right? We have it here. Okay, we have our longitude, altitude here, right? We have our data. Let's store longitude separate from latitude, and we have two lists as a parameters, and then iterate from them by the using zip method from the Python to do the match which I show you, right? Let's try to do that. Clear. Let's just follow me. So the very first step, what actually we can do, we need to use a for loop, and we need to create the different lists. Okay, we imported the pandas. Okay. Okay, so let me try with simple steps, and let me name it. Before we actually go into the inside of that, let's forget about these lines. Let's assume we're just here. And now our goal is to just, let me even comment it out. Let's assume it doesn't exist. So forget about Folium for a second. Now what we need to do, we need to create our data, right? And as we see here, the name of the columns, right? Let's see what is our name of the column. Okay, let me go up. Okay, volcano ID, volcano region, latitude and longitude. Okay, let me save latitude variable here, do it equal, and now as soon as I have it here, right, latitude, I want to store only latitudes in the list, right? So let it be list. Now I know what kind of data type I want. Now I need to extract it. Where from I do extract, right? Where from? Okay, let's create the object which we created in the interpreter before. Let's call it just data. And in this data object, we will call pandas libraries with the method read CSV, and we pass our parameter volcano. Volcanoes, right? And it's CSV. Okay, we have it now. We're reading that. Now in this list, we go to the data, and we need to specify what exactly we want to read. So since it's in a list, right? Since we will convert it into a list, we just need to store all the latitude as a list. Okay, let's call it. And as we know the column name here, you see, it's latitude. So we pass this name as a latitude here. Oops, my bad. Let me just copy the name of this variable and pass it here, right, as a string. Okay, and now before going next step, let's just print it. Let's just print this variable. We comment out the previous code. We just want to see, are we able to capture all latitudes? Yeah, as we can see here, let's make it bigger, all latitudes, and we store them successfully. You see? All of them are stored successfully now. Now I want to do the same for the longitude. I want to do exactly the same thing. Okay, we have our list of the data, our data. We want to pass this parameter as a string, and we store it as a different list, right? We did exactly the same thing. We don't need to print it out anymore. I did it just to show you how we store it separately with help of Pandas libraries. Okay, we have our to-dos, latitude and longitude, of all our volcanoes which we have. Okay, the very next step which we need to do, we need to use our for loop, right? For loop. And this for loop will be for two variables, right? Like for our latitude and longitude, right? We have two our variables. Now, remember I showed you the method the zip, which taking the two lists and taking one by one item from each list and do the match. Okay, this is method zip which is coming from Python, from the common libraries. We have it there, and we specify it as the parameters, right? Latitude, the latitude and longitude. Okay, we have our loops. Okay, we have our loop, we have our two list, and now we need to iterate from each. Remember our figure which we used here? It's a green one, right? So let's create the figure. Command X from here before. Command V. So now we have our figure on the top, right? We call it my map. And this line of this code, let's copy as well and copy it under for loop. Okay, let's add market and modify a little bit. So instead of our location, as you can guess, we need to pass two parameters, longitude and longitude. So in this case, it will read both, right? So let me remove here. I will have two parameters. If their name is latitude, comma, longitude. So it will take from our two list, which we successfully created, from this file, from the all longitude and altitude, and it will pass as a parameter through the for loop. It will circle it one by one and do iteration, right? And will mark it, if my logic is correct. Now, as soon as we're done this iteration, the very next step, what will happen? Let me move for loop. Right? I need to save the changes. I need to add the child, and I need to save the changes, right? That's what I need to do. Let's run it, right? Okay, looks like it successfully ran. Let's open our map. Here we go. We have all our volcanoes in US, actually in the whole world. We mark all volcanoes in the world. Congratulations. You did it successfully. The next step we're going to do in the following videos, we need to update our marker, because you see it's given the same allocation. We need to dynamically pass this pop-up information. We need to update it from our Excel sheet, which we have downloaded. For example, the name of volcano we want to provide. So that will be your homework. So use my code. I will post it on my repo. I will post it on my Bitbucket, GitHub. Links will be in below. So thanks for watching. So these kind of things, we don't know NumPy deeply, we don't know Panda deeply, but at least we work with the data. Now we understand what kind of job task you will have. and you can feel, do you want to do it in your career or you don't want to do it in your career. So I strongly believe it will be helpful for you. So thanks guys, please subscribe, leave comments in the below session. Thank you.